Steven Spielberg has
Yes.
done a couple great movies about extraterrestrials. Off a Hynek's book, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, and then E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Ever have a chance to talk to him or get his views on this?
Well, funny you should say that, actually, because I've been trying to I've contacted presidents. I've gotten Jimmy Carter on camera briefly at a book signing.
He saw something.
Yeah, he did. I managed to get a brief phone interview with President Ford. I got a statement from President Clinton's office, actually, during 1999.
Reagan was interested in this?
Reagan was interested, but I didn't get access. I couldn't get a hold of Steven Spielberg if my life depended on it. I tried for nearly 20 years. Finally, at the end of I Know What I Saw production, Larry King said, "Why don't I take your film and hand it off to Spielberg and see if he responds to me?" So I said, "Great, talk about having friends in high places."
He knew him.
Yes, he did.
He even got a letter from him.
From
right?
his office. Yeah. So Larry took my film, which wasn't totally complete at the time, I Know What I Saw, sent it off to Steven Spielberg and said, "Hey, check this out. This is the real life Close Encounters."
Yeah.
So Spielberg watched it, and I get a phone call. It's really funny. At about 10 o'clock in the morning, I get a phone call from CAA, which is
the great agency. They represent me.
Exactly. Yeah. CAA calls, and they said, "Mr. Fox?" I said, "Yeah. Steven Spielberg is watching your movie right now." I said, "Really? How do you know?" Because he took it and he went into a room by himself and he's watching
impressive.
it. Yeah, I said, "Wow."
That doesn't happen.
So the next hour and a half, I can't tell you the feeling I had. I was like, "Steven Spielberg's watching my movie right now." So hour and a half, I called my dad was so excited. Everyone was so excited. And about hour and a half later, I get another phone call. And same woman, CAA, and she said, "Well, Steven Spielberg watched your movie." I said, "Yeah, and what?"
This is unprecedented that they would call you and even tell you
Oh,
that.
yeah. I promise you. Everything I'm telling you is exactly as it happened. And I said, "Okay, well, what happened?" She said, "Well, I don't know. He went into his office and he wrote a letter to Larry and sent it to Larry." I said,
"There's the letter. We got it on the screen here."
So, I'm champing at the bit to find out what happened, So Larry finally gets in touch with me and says, "Hey, I got the letter. I'll send it to you FedEx from our office." So I'll never, I live in a small town. The FedEx guy knows me, and he's kind of into UFOs.
Yeah.
And I live.
They all know what you do, right?
Yeah, they kind of. Yeah, So the FedEx guy knocks on my door, and he goes, "James, you're not going to believe this. You got a FedEx from Larry King, from CNN, from Larry King Live." I said, "Yeah, and it's a letter from Steven Spielberg inside." He goes, "Can you open it now? Can I see it?"
He wanted to see it?
Totally.
I love it.
So we sat there on the side of the road, ripping this thing open. It was really funny. And I read it. So the first person to have had access to that letter outside of Larry King and Spielberg was myself and the FedEx guy.
That's great.
And he was bubbling over with excitement. So anyway, I got this letter, and this was right before the film was to be released, and distribution companies as well as A&E were like, "Wow, wouldn't it be amazing to have an endorsement like this from Steven Spielberg?"
Huge.
Just his name and what he said,
Yep.
compelling, right?
I love it. I looked at it.
Yeah,
Whatever.
and you have to read it very carefully. Read it very carefully to see there's actually a statement in there that's very, very interesting. Very interesting. So anyway, I contact his office because I don't want to just release something without. I contacted his office in 2009 and I said, "Hey, Marvin Levy," I said, "It's James Fox. I've got a letter from Steven Spielberg about my movie, and I'd like to extract a quote from it and use it to promote my movie." Ooh, he goes, "Oh, well, you have a letter? He doesn't usually watch people's. He doesn't endorse. He got kind of nervous, right?" And my father, the whole time, bless his heart, he died last year, my dad. But my father was going, "Well, you got the quote. Just use it." And I said, "No, I really got to get from
You could have used it.
I could have, yeah. Technically, I could have, but So Marvin Levy said, "Steven Spielberg would really prefer it if you didn't use that."
Really?